in it, dogs in it. Fli-City, come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Fli-City got some dogs in it. Fli-City, come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Rain may come, we cover for it, it's a cover charge. Ain't coming, we force ourselves to be stronger for it. Northside slum, prison bids, and I'm better for it. Representing Fli-City, now make some noise. Random corners, pushing packs, looking back, hand ups, ain't seen no pass. Fli-City got a city tax, body bags, ski masks, crime rates, I speak to God. City giving rich vibes, beat knocks to the speaker box, we don't speak a lot, just move around. Water dirty, streets dirty, whip clean. We okay, we grew up on survival schemes, rider dreams, Lion King, the jungle seems like peace to me. Struggle sled and victories, now picture me. 6 months out, I'm on my
Take the thing out the door.
Talks with Manny, home the business, run the city, leak with all the owners in it. Minus since we bless the city with our agenda. Hustlers, open finish, all that deals is open to us. Just push lane, this crooked man, and we straighten out. Straighten out, but they tearing down. North side, south side, east side, west side, peace.
Still what? No, I thought the door was open.
South side, east side, west side, Fli-City, that's south side, east side, Fli-City got some dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing the transition from penny pinch.
How many we got on right now?
Maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen. Nowadays, read grab charts, just mind my business. All praise to the Most High, how this young king living. Resurrecting the spirit of Osiris, how I'm living. Hustle and motivate your local hope dealer. I'm on tour right now, and I'm dope with it. They lied to us, stole assets, still in crisis mode. Water warriors like 1,001, we will not fold. I'm sick of fugazi leaders and career politicians. The father said people perish due to lack of vision. It's time to ride black lives, baby, it's on the flow. Bet it back, no 9 to 5, only 10 and 12. A city of monsters, a bunch of go-getters. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic.
We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we
What's
too
up, bro?
authentic.
Got it?
Can
Can you run the video back one more time, man?
We don't rock with starters, we too authentic.
Hello.
What we doing?
Hello? What's going on? Oh, okay. Me on the show. I'm going for the stuff.
Fli-City got some dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Fli-City got some dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Rain may come, we cover for it, it's a cover charge. Pain come in, we force ourselves to be stronger for it. Northside slum, prison bids, and I'm better for it. Representing Fli-City, now make some noise. Random corners, pushing packs, looking back, hand ups, ain't seen no pass. Fli-City got a city tax, body bags, ski masks, crime rates, I speak to God. City giving rich vibes, beat knocks to the speaker box, we don't speak a lot, just move around. Water dirty, streets dirty, whip clean. clean. We okay, we grew up off survival schemes. Rider dreams, Lion King in the jungle seems like peace to me. Struggle sled and victories, now picture me. 6 months out, I'm on my feet. On the business, talks with Maddie, on the business. Run the city, leak with all the owners in it. Minus since we bless the city with our agenda. Hustlers, open fields, all ideas is open to us. Just push your lane, this crooked man, and we straighten out, we straighten out. They tearing down, north side, south side, east side, west side, peace side. We try to get this city side, get west side, north side, south side, east side, west side, Fli-City, that's south side, east side, west side. Got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off all in it, all in it, we light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing the transition from penny pinch, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen. Nowadays, re-grab charges, just mind my business. All praise to the Most High, how this young king living. Resurrecting the spirit of Osiris, how I'm living. Hustle and motivate your local hope dealer. I'm on tour right now, and I'm dope with it. They lied to us, stole assets, still in crisis mode. Water warriors like 1,000 we will not fold. I'm sick of fugazi leaders and career politicians. The father said people perish due to lack of mission. It's time to rise, Black Lives, baby, it's on the flow. Bet it back, no 9 to 5, only 10 to 4. A city of monsters, a bunch of go-getters. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic.
We don't rock with starters, we too authentic.
We don't rock with starters,
we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic.
Let's hear that.
We up?
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings.
Peace and bless. I know y'all can hear me. Y'all can't see me yet.
Yeah, I can hear you. What's that?
That's what I'm saying. I know y'all can hear me. Can't see me yet.
We trying to get some things situated up here. What's going on, Satai?
How are you?
Yeah, all right. All is well.
Here in my zen, you know.
See?
Oh,
You got the light. What you burning over there?
this is vanilla and peppermint. I'm in my zen right now.
Okay. Tell us what you deep diving on. What type of synergy are you can dwelling up right now? What you can join,
Now,
right?
when I had this right here, I did some meditation before I got on the show, just to clear my mind and that from work and everything else, and just to clear it, to get settled and get in, so I can tap in with you all. Get all that rubbish out, so I can be fresh and just tap in with you all. So I had my candle lit, did a little meditation, and I'm ready to rock.
Come on. Oh yeah, you got some good energy going. That's what we talk about.
Most definitely.
See?
I'm in daddy mode and every other mode right now.
I see.
You got here right here.
What's up, Junior?
He in his walker right now. On his rocker.
I see.
He's sitting there right in front of me though.
Yeah, you watching every move.
Yeah, he looking up at this phone. He looking up at this phone. He trying to figure out why he ain't on camera.
Right. He said, because it's all about him.
Right. Right, boy. Mm-hmm.
Ain't that funny, man? But ain't that deep though? When you have children, then it's no longer about you no more. You used to spend all your money on you and being able to just worry about what you got going on for the day, and utilize your time how you wanted to do it, and not worried about anything else. And then when
Huh?
you
What you
have
talking
children,
about?
all that stuff you push to the side.
We supposed to stop all that when
I
we
don't know
had
about
kids?
you.
We supposed to stop all that when we had children?
Well, I ain't saying stop all that, but it
I
is
just spend
impactful.
all my money on me. It's all about me. No, I'm playing. But we
That
get
sound about
we
right.
get people we get people boycotting the show like, oh, they're supporting
Right.
bad dads.
Terrible. Yeah, man. Hey, a little disclaimer.
Right.
Man,
Sometimes you get to the point where you can't even remember the last time you bought yourself nothing. You golly.
I'm trying to tell
listen,
you.
I was just telling Boomer talking about he want to get some more shoes, man. I just got shoes just like the other week. But I'm like, man, listen, man, I mean, I haven't even got no shoes like I can't even recall the last time I got shoes.
Man.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So every time I turn around, and I be, I like shoes too. You know what I'm saying? I like to look fresh.
I
You know what I'm
like
saying?
shoes too. You like shoes too?
Right, I do. You know what I'm saying? And
I call myself
I ain't been
going to get
treating
some.
myself.
Right. I call myself going to get. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna go get another pair of little work shoes or whatever. And I slide up there. My daughter FaceTime. She like, where you? Oh, you at Nike? Can you give me some jogging pants? I need this
Come
and that. I
on,
walk
come
out of
on.
there. I didn't have nothing for myself, and I had stuff for her. I'm like, what size? What?
Come on
You know
now.
what?
Come on.
That wasn't even my purpose of going. And look, slid around to Adidas, right? I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna slide in there. She's still on the phone. She's like, I didn't hang up.
She still want more stuff.
Yeah.
Are
Trying to
you
see
at
where you.
Adidas
Didn't get
now?
nothing.
You at
Are you
Adidas
Adidas
now?
now?
Yeah, I saw a hoodie I like up there.
Like she was like, yeah, can you get? She was like, I need the black ones with the white
Mhm.
stripe on it.
Come on now.
I'm like,
You know
man,
which one it
go,
is.
man. Yeah, not those. I'm like, man,
And
you know,
then when it comes
it's no
down,
longer about you.
you know
It
what,
might
what
be
irks
on
my
the
nerves
side
though?
too.
And then we get back to the crib and this dish is all through the sink, right? Now I'm looking at them
Oh
like,
man,
you know what I'm saying? I ain't touching them. And I'm still my 10 toes down on that. I'm not touching them, right? I get tired of wiping up after Lila's. Everywhere she goes, she leave a mess. You know what I'm saying? I clean it up after her. I'm got washing dishes, gotta cook the food. I'm like, hold on now. Eddie came down, putting
everything.
in 14 hours of work. I'm saying, ain't enough time in the day. And then I come in, man, there's stuff everywhere, and they just sitting watching TV. I said, you know what? Where them
I said,
shoes
I
at?
know y'all don't think I'm Molly Maid around here. Y'all better get yourselves up.
Yeah.
Right.
Where them shoes at? Hey, they'll get them
Where them
shoes right
shoes
now.
at? I can't fit shit, but I want them.
I'll be feeling just like that. Man. So man, listen, we had another snowy week. We was all snowed out yesterday, man. What y'all do yesterday?
What we do?
To work, sir.
What we do?
My 4-wheel drive worked. I went to work.
Well, that's good. You about the only one in there.
And then I stayed down this way so I didn't have to keep, traveling back and forth in it. So I'm still down here. So,
Good.
yeah.
Down there. It's terrible. I mean, I didn't go nowhere yesterday really, but I tried to get the car out today. It was just like a whole, it was just a lot of snow out there.
Yeah, it's Michigan, bro. Oh, everybody act like they forget we live in Michigan.
Well, man.
Especially when I get to driving. Child.
Yeah. See, we got spoiled. We've been getting spoiled these last few years or whatever. Not seeing a lot of snow. We getting spoiled. So people start forgetting how Michigan hit. Just like what we just seen. It was sunny. It was so sunny the other day, Tuesday. I'm barbecuing and everything outside. The very next day,
Just barbecue.
everything. Yeah, I barbecue. The very next day.
Darius, I feel like COVID kept the snow away.
COVID got me mad. I would have said like,
yeah, we ain't had no snow since COVID hit.
Man,
He's talking about COVID. COVID and stop the snow. He stopped people from working and stopped the snow too. That's crazy.
I'm telling you.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So man, what's up? What's up, Mickey? How you holding up back there?
He said he going through it. Mickey said he going through it. Oh, I thought he said I'm going through it, bro.
Oh no, I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Man, he holding strong, holding strong. Look at us, 2022. We a virtual
2022, man.
podcast.
I got
This is our live now. It's
this
our
is
life. This is our life.
we gotta, you know, I'm gonna hit something personal with y'all. I'm gonna touch on y'all something personal, right?
What's that?
Cause y'all family, right? So
Mhm.
we could be honest, right? Then we got Flint with us right here on family, right?
That's right.
Y'all in on something. Mental health, right? Mental health, right? Trying to get an understanding of mine, cause you gotta understand, right? 3 months out of being free off papers for good. I mean, all my cases closed out, all parole order. It's
Congratulations.
so it's so nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking because it feel like when you were waiting for your ERD or your release date when you in the joint. It feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nerve wracking. Like you feel like you got to be on eggshells. You thinking about all the possible things that can go wrong. Any little misstep set it all the way back. You know what I'm saying? Last time I was out, I was out 14 months. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the last incident popped off and I went back and had to go back in. So once I saw the 14-month on this time, that was the celebration. You know, I was happy that I
Right.
was happy like, okay, I done made it to 14, then 15 months. And so
Mhm.
now, you know, with the realization, then talking to my PO yesterday, he one really made me realize it again yesterday. Like he like, oh, you only got a few more of these FaceTime calls with me, and then you all the way free. Honestly, it's not. It's it's nerve wracking. It's supposed to be like this joyous thing, right? But it's nerve wracking. Then when I got a lot of my closest friends is still doing time. Some of them ain't coming home. I had a few that just went back in that got to do bits. Some doing short, some doing long bits. I got a few of my good friends still waiting to go back in. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in county jails. One good friend sitting all the way in Texas in the county jail. I'm trying to see what happened with his situation.
That's right.
And I was telling my wife yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Like, some days, you know, I feel guilty. Some days I feel guilty after talking to them and just being out here, like, being able to be in the bed, being able to go to the refrigerator, being able to move around when I want to, turn on the light anytime I want to, just the little things like that. Basically, you know, have a variety of choice on food, when I want to eat, how I want to eat, you know what I'm saying? Options, all these type of options. Some days I feel guilty. So that become overwhelming, you know what I'm saying? I shared that for the first time with my wife yesterday about my feelings when it come to getting this close, you know what I'm saying? And I talked to a lot of brothers that I did time with, that every now and then you will hear the comment, man, it was easier inside. It's sad that if you ain't ever been in and somebody make a comment like that, you look at them like they crazy. Like, what? Like, you would rather be inside? And I'd be like, I'm trying to explain to people, like, that ain't what they saying, because I can understand what they mean. Like, that ain't what they saying. It's
Yeah.
trying to catch up with everything. So it's kind of like, when I be telling, like, when I be telling you, like, bro, hold up, man, this stuff is frustrating. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you that type of stuff, like, you don't understand. Like, feel, think of this. I'm 35, right? So think of stuff like, had I not missed out on 13 years, a lot of stuff I would know how to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I had to learn a lot of stuff late. I learned a lot of stuff late that people already knew how to do. I remember one time getting so frustrated because I forgot what to do with the grease before, finna cook some fish one time. I'm finna cook some fish. And you know how sometimes you might have grease sitting in the pot. And I don't know if the grease good or old. I used to know it wasn't no question. So I'm standing there and I'm like, I stood there for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And finally I just walked away. Frustrated though. Frustrated with myself, like, man, I'm supposed to know this. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to know that something that simple though can put you in a bad mood. You know what I mean? And
Darius,
was,
I think that when it comes to things like that, especially when you telling that to people and you say that to people, like we that have not been in that position or that predicament have to have some type of empathy, right? And we have to understand and we have to think about it on a different level. And I think that's the disconnect. Like people just hear that and all of a sudden they be like, why would you say that? But
Right.
the thing about it is like if you really think about it, like you saying that to me and what I got out of that was, oh, I understand that. And I understand it not because I've been in that situation, but I understand because it was structured. You know exactly what your day was every day
Mm-hmm.
for 13 years.
And you
It was
hit that
structured.
round of nose. That's
So
what.
then when you come out, it's all foreign because now you got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to move. Nobody's telling you how to move.
Mm-hmm.
So you went in at 22, and even though you came out at
20.
35, you went in at 20, and even though you 35, when you got out, you still 20 for real.
Yeah, okay. That's crazy, man.
So you didn't. So you missed those 13 years. So it was really like you in a time warp. Like you were stuck in that position. So when you got out, you got 13 years to catch up to. So I do understand that. So when you say that it was easier that way, I totally get it because it was structured. You didn't have to think about it. It was just these things. It was boom, 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 all over again. Boom, 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 boom. And then when you get out, you got to figure out how to move. Now you got to figure out how to move without getting in trouble,
Man.
without having people all on your back,
Man,
without making a mistake, without disappointing your family, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes it is easier to go back and some people do be like that and be like, "Fuck it, I'm going back because I can't handle it out here."
I want to
Right?
commend you. I want to commend you too, brother, for
I'm
just
telling
even, you know what I'm saying? I know you're frustrated, you know, and at 10 years, no matter how you look at it. Yeah, I spent the 2 fighting the case, so, and that shit was different. So I think when you talk about, man, you know, being frustrated and you know, letting it get to you, man,
Right.
don't let that stuff get to you, man. Just, it's always, it's a learning lesson. No matter where we at in life, you know, we all learn new things.
Okay, look.
And
Let
I
me
would
look at
say
the
even for
camera.
the brothers even the brothers that's still locked down, man, you know, it's not a thing of be feeling guilty or anything like that. I think because you know, folks be living vicariously through us. And so
Yeah.
you gotta handle business. That's what they're
And
looking for. You know what I'm
so
saying?
Ty hit around the point, like that structure. When you have that structure, you got a routine. So like I said, I did 9 years on the first bit. So I had 9 years of routine. I came out and I went straight to work. I came out, I got on the Wednesday. I was working that next Monday. A lot of people told me, therapists and all type of people that my mama would go to and talk to, because I was against therapy. I was against talking to anybody. This type of stuff I wasn't even brought up in 2015 when I got the first time. Like I just wasn't about talking about it. My wife used to ask me, you know, talk to me. I just couldn't talk about it. Like, man, I didn't talk about my feelings, man. I get over it. You know what I'm saying? And I never did. I just held it in. So it was one of the root causes to me going back in. Then, you know, you hear a lot of people, you know, say things like, I used to say things like, oh, I could do a bit. I did that 9 years. I could do a bit. So, you know, I was kind of careless in that matter. Like, I could do time, man. Time ain't nothing. And when that structure, now I'm still getting used to like days off. Days off be hard. Days off be hard. See, my work days, I look forward to them because it's a routine. I got to be up. I got to be up at 5. I got to be out the house at 5:30. I know what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. I can open up the shop, get everything running, get everything together, and get rolling. You know what I'm saying? I know my routine. It's planned out. And while I'm at work, I'm already lining up. If I got anything I got to do after work, it's already getting lined up. So I got a routine. But you know what messed me up though? If something twists in that routine in that day, I get a little frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little frustrated now. I'm a little off balance now. All that, you know what I'm saying? And that would, you know, that'd be that'd be rough. Those be them rough times. Them be them
It'll
rough
throw a
months.
wrench in it for sure for you. But I want to say, just like the one, I just want to say that I'm super proud of you. Like it takes a lot, and I understand that it's a lot after doing that and not having that structure and having to create some structure of your own
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't self sabotage, right?
Right,
Because that
right.
happens. So
Right, all
I'm
the
really
time.
proud of you for doing that, like seriously, because it takes a lot. And I'm also proud of you for even discussing it and being able to talk about it now. Because, like you said, it was a thing before and you couldn't talk about it. But I'm really proud of you for that because it takes a lot. And it's no shame in that. Sometimes we need that because we got to figure out how to make it through.
Yeah, because I realized like I realized, like I said, I realized it was one of the bigger components of me going back is the fact that I wasn't open to having that conversation with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would know because you didn't have that. You can't on the yard. Ain't nobody discussing how they feel. Ain't no feelings. You ain't discussing how you feel. It's all prison politics. So ain't nobody really discussing how they feel because you don't want nobody to know where you know what I'm saying, if you got a weakness anywhere, anything like that. So you ain't discussing that stuff. So when I got out, I wasn't trying to have them conversations with nobody. You know what I mean? But when I went back in, I was thinking, that was the first time I ever spoke with a therapist. My family was on me about it, like, speak. You need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody. And that was the first time I really had sat down and really even spoke about, how I really felt about, just being incarcerated, how it affected me, how the how being free affects me. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of guys, even for those that's watching that did time. You know, I know a lot of guys. It's hard to speak on. It's hard to speak on. That's how I'm looking into a podcast where we can, where it's about inmates or ex-cons and stuff like that, so people can really open up and speak on how they feeling, what they struggling with, what they dealing with, because and so many people feel like it's taboo, really, like for a man because we gotta be so alpha male, you know what I'm saying? Then everybody looking like, oh, he went to the joint, so he's so tough, ooh, and all this. But at the end of the day, you don't even understand, like tough as I am. Like I say, I'd have to walk off and broke down in tears over the fact I couldn't remember how to fry fish. So y'all just,
Question for you.
yeah.
I have a question for you, Darius. With that being said, and all of those things that you went through, and you were able to finally went through a therapist. For those of them that may be listening and or watching, um, can you tell me how that made you feel? How did you feel your first time going to therapy? How did that work for you?
It was it's nerve wracking. One, you don't know this person, right? You don't know this person, you know. And even though it's nerve wracking, that's one of the only things that's kind of your plus, because it's like, okay, I don't know this person, so I could kind of unload to this person a little.
You feel like they don't have the judgment, right?
Same time, you can hear me? Y'all can hear me? My sound went out, man.
Yeah,
Somebody
you
called me
freezing up a
while we
little
on this.
bit.
My sound always go out when they do it. I'm gonna have to go out and come back in.
So no, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I'm gonna have to go out and
I
come
don't think
back
he
in.
can.
Anytime
I don't think
somebody
he can
call,
hear. Probably
anytime
just
somebody call or something, my sound will go out.
just go
I'll go
back
out and
out.
come
Just
back
come back
in. All
in.
right. Y'all give me a
Um,
head nod if y'all hear me.
yeah, we
All
hear
right.
you. Just go out and come back in. Yeah, we just even shedding light on just even that, just brothers who may be experiencing, coming home and may not be getting the support that that they need. That's something as a community, as a body of people that we supposed to have in place for our people. It's nothing more than feeling like you just lonely or you don't got nobody to come to, or you don't have anybody to talk to about a situation, or you need resources and things like that, and then you don't have opportunity to be connected to that source. I think that
So,
is something that we always talk bad about people, who make mistakes and had to go down for because everybody make mistakes. It's like I was
right.
on Karen's show yesterday, and this was a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and it's about, man. I know if you made a mistake, of course, right? If you did the time, you come back out. We expect you to be a part of society, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like a lot of times folks hang this dark cloud of you, and that's how people end up saying, like, you know what, I'm gonna get back to doing what I was doing and go back.
Well,
Or
you gotta understand
I don't
too.
have no way to connect with somebody and don't have no support
Yeah,
and nobody showing love.
you gotta
Um,
understand too. Society not even don't prepare themselves for for uh inmates, for guys to return. For one, society don't prepare for that. And Right now, as we speak, the MDOC they don't rehabilitate. It's all housing. So you housed in there. So it's very it's a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, just to share something with y'all, the first bit 9 years, I didn't even from 06 to 15. I didn't you stop counting the time, you get caught up in, the politics of prison, everything that's going on, and you get caught up in all the nonsense. So you don't even pay attention to the time. It wasn't until February of 2013 I went to the hole for getting into it with an officer. So in February of 2013, I'm in the hole, and there's an officer came to me, was like, how does you go home in 2 years, man? He like, I don't think you're gonna make your first parole with your record, your prison record. And it hit me like, man, I'm finna go home. It's a lot of guys in there like that because you've been housed. So when you get these long sentences, I didn't take a class from 2007 to 2014. Not because I didn't want to take a class. It was just because they weren't available to me yet, because it's like, look, we're not giving you no class until you're about to go home. So they crammed everything in like an 8-month period. Just like, take this class, take this class, take this class, take this class, just so they could sign, check off their boxes and send you out. So a lot of guys, you coming out not rehabilitated. Society ain't ready for you because they still got all these everything that can hold you back, like these background checks. They want you to be so many years outside of the crime you commit, outside of your conviction date and all this type of stuff. Like, and then you can get turned down for so many things because of that. Even though they say, oh, they ain't supposed to be doing that no more. They say you can't do that no more. You ain't supposed to be doing that no more. It's still a practice that's still going on. People still want to know. You still are here. Yeah, we're going to do a background check. We're going to do a thorough background check. Right here for a second, baby. You're going to do a thorough background check. We're going to do a thorough if the background check come back clean. And I'll be trying to let people know up front, like, listen, you run a background check, you're going to see this, you're going to see that. But if you pay attention to now, you know what I'm saying, you'll see this and you'll see that. So it's a big difference. I was young, now I'm older. So I'm young, now I'm older. But society don't be ready to just accept that and pull that in. So you get a lot of brothers that they come out and they really try. They really try. I was blessed on going back in the second time because they was offering trades. And so, which was rough for me to even get in because of my record. But here go the thing. You got brothers, when they do so long and they finally offer these trades, they got these stipulations for you to even get it though. So a lot of brothers already blew their opportunity before it was even an opportunity. You feel what I'm saying? So they don't even have that option. And I just feel like, either MDOC, if they ain't gonna do better, then society itself got to do better with the way they accept these guys that come back home, because the majority of guys in there coming back home at some point got out dates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out too, man. Just since we talking about MDOC, we do get a lot of calls and concerns about our folks with COVID in there. There's been an issue, man, even in the Genesee County Jail downtown. Like our brothers and they being subjected to COVID. I know we got a call from a brother that's in the Alabama State Prison. 3 inmates died. So it's like sometimes we don't even know about this stuff, but I know COVID is definitely taking place out here in the community, but it's taking place in the jail system too. So I want to definitely give some love to the brothers that sit down. We got the letters. We definitely advocate on the back end for it. But we definitely want to make sure that the world know, just in general, they're not cleaning these jails, MDOC, the county jails, all these jails. It don't matter the prisons around. You got people who are getting sick. People can't talk to their family. You got some real stuff going on. When you talk about now, because of COVID, they stopped the visitations. So like now, folks ain't stepping up there. Folks ain't coming up there, being able to be checked on, being seen. So you really don't know what's going on.
They open it in the MDOC.
You got to be able to go ahead and call. When you get a chance, if you put money on the phone, make sure you tap in with them, because you ain't gonna be able to see them right now. So I definitely want to make sure we ain't forget about y'all brothers. Even the letters that we get all the time, we gonna respond. We can always go find a way to send them packages up there. We're still trying to continue to get continuous support. So, but we
they open the visitation for the MDOC. They open that back up, so they get the visitation. Everybody gotta go through their COVID testing and things like that. They open it for the MDOC. But the way the COVID affect the MDOC right now is this: You got guys. The parole board don't like to give you a parole unless you finish certain recommendations. So when you come in, you got these recommendations that they require. It'll take this class, take this class, take this class, and we're gonna do an assessment based on how you performed in that class, and that's gonna let you know if you get a parole. You know what I mean? And guys get flopped, which basically saying they time extended a year, 2 years, or 5 years, if for not completing these classes. So when you are inside right now, while the pandemic is going, people are sitting just waiting to get in the class that they cannot run because of the pandemic. So you don't have the teachers and the people that got to run these courses can't come in because of the COVID pandemic. So you got people that's on the list. You got people that's on a list, right? On a list. So while these people's on the list waiting to get in the class, and it could be the only class. I got my business part right now. He got one class he didn't take, thinking for a trade. But he's just on the list. It's just a waiting list. And so every time he call, I ask him, bro, you ask about the list, you kite this person about the list. He like, yeah, man, in the same thing. They can't run it yet until COVID free up. So you got people that just really praying and hoping that COVID just disappears so they can come home. And the parole board not opening up other avenues. So we're gonna be trying to advocate now for my business partner Emmanuel Burks. We trying to advocate for him now by sending letters to the parole board to kind of just be like, listen, had it not been for the pandemic, he would be home. We're close to coming home. Right. So is there any alternatives, any programs that you would like him to take out here that's close to what y'all ask him to take in there that can bring him, so he can be back home? And it's a long shot because, like you say, you got to understand, the parole board members don't like to sign their name. They got to sign their name on that paper.
But we got to put pressure on that board. We got to put pressure on that board.
But if you mess up, guess who they come out? Guess who you're not the only person they looking at. You know what I'm saying? If say for instance, DeJuan, I'm a parole board member, you come up for parole, right? And I ask you all these questions. Society already don't really want you out there. You got a victim, you got a crime with victims in it. So the victims are already kind of like, they're right to parole board too. I don't want them out here. I don't feel safe with them out here. You know what I mean? And a lot of street niggas do that too. I know some, you know what I'm saying? Wrote some letters to the parole board about people. So I don't really want them out here. They don't need to be out here. Ooh.
Right.
If I sign my name saying it's a go for you for parole, and you come out here and mess up, something I did. You come out here and you mess up. Guess who else getting some flack for that? Not just you getting arrested and going back doing some time. They coming at me now. They like you should have known better. You should have known better. So they start to kind of squeeze and tighten down. You know what I'm saying? All that nonsense.
You already know.
When a person don't have the tools coming out, we expect somebody to just pick up.
Yeah.
We expect somebody to just pick up. I wanted Satara coming back in because she said she had a question. I was just going on for a second. But y'all know how this subject is to me, man. Y'all know how that subject is to me.
I just want to say, because a couple of brothers called in on the call yesterday, and it is, folks is waiting on the program to resume. So I know, man, it's not their fault, and it's unfortunate that they got to wait because they did what they had to do. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to give a big shout out. You know what I'm saying? Heard Tony Roy yesterday, man, the other day, man. Big shout out to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, man, being held up by the system, by that parole board, just because, COVID, what have you.
But kind of homies came home yesterday. CP, welcome home. One of the homies came home yesterday. It's at 12 and a half. Welcome home, you know what I mean? But
it's slowly but surely. They definitely on the way out. You know what I'm saying?
But we gotta be tapping in. We gotta be tapping in with them family members. Y'all gotta stay tapped in with these brothers, man. Especially on even while they in, even while you in. You know what I mean? You need that because it get rough. It get rough when you to go without visits, to go without letters, to go without any type of outside support. it can be rough. And then when you don't get to see no free person, that could really give you intel about, what the free world like. When you don't get to see that, you start to lose any sight or mind about the free world for real. When you don't really get that interaction with no free person, you know what I mean? I know how that feels. We went through that for 5 years straight at one point. Like nothing, no outside. Just through phone call, that was it. Couldn't see my kids. Their mother wouldn't let me see them, doing everything, trying to get them up and shoot, blocking that, and just going through that. Like, people don't understand. Like, yeah, people, we made a mistake. They got us in there, but they forget that at the end of the day, it's still somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's daddy, somebody's uncle, somebody's cousin, somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's
No,
still
that's
human.
real. Right.
He's still human. You know what I mean? We still human. We be tough, but we still human, man. So
See, I always say for us, man, always, we always gotta have more empathy for each other. Just no matter what, whether come home from prison, whether it's folks dealing with mental illness, you know what I'm saying? Just people just kind of, just not following the fold. I think, man, definitely, man, we got to have more empathy for each other, but then have these real conversations and see how we can kind of move forward on, as a unified front. So I know, Satar, you had a question for Darius.
I just wanted to know, and now that you have gone through or have been going through therapy a little bit, is it easier now for you to talk to your wife about some things, or even your mother for that matter? Because I know your mama, she's such a sweetie, and I'm sure she asks you a lot as well, and trying to get and making sure that you stay on the right side of the wall, right? And so is it easier now that you have done that to speak with them a little more candidly about what had happened, or your feelings, even for that matter? Is it easier now for you to speak about those things instead of, like, because I know that I've had, like, my uncles and that they have gone in or whatever, and I know that my one uncle was in for 16 years, the other one's in for 18 years, and they come out and they walk up behind you, be like, right side, you know what I'm saying? Because they used to doing that, right?
You got to do it.
Because they don't want nobody, sneaking up on them, right? And so they told me, when this is why I had to do this, whatever, and they started talking to me about it. So those things I do understand, and of course, as y'all know, I ask a million questions because I be wanting to know, not to offend anybody, but so I can have some understanding, so I know. I have to know what bag you're coming out of, so that I can further understand you, and so that we're able to communicate better. So with that being said, is it easier now to do that now that you have been going through therapy? And do you continue? Are you still doing therapy?
No, I did. Like I said, I did therapy for a second while I was in. When I went back in. Everybody suggested that I talk to a therapist, so I finally went to a therapist. I got diagnosed with PTSD, from things that happened in the joint. Some wars. I've been in some wars in the joint. I got stabbed in the face, stabbed in the arms. I've been there, but I went to therapy for a little while. What they do, the sad part about it is they want to dope you up. I'm just be honest. So they want to dope you up. When you're in prison, you go through therapy, they want to dope you up. So they try to instantly, first thing they're doing, we're going to put you on these pills. They're going to move. They're going to get some mood stabilizers. I ain't never been one to be on pills. I don't like medicine, none of that type of stuff. So I took these pills for a little while. I had to get off. Pills had me eating up everything. You hear me? Tearing my locker down. So I had to get off the pill. I said, no, I'm good on that. I got to get off these pills. So then I didn't do it no more while I was inside. When I came home, it was a requirement of mine through parole. And what they do, though, they send you up to New Path. And I'm gonna tell you why that's a big mistake. It's a huge mistake. And I kind of went off in New Path on the therapist and the staff there, because they set these clients up for you to go in the New Path. So if you've been in the New Path, you've seen New Path. Walking in the New Path is almost like walking in a control center in the MDOC. It's almost like that. That's how you feel. So the moment I come in there, and I mean the way they got it set up, the way it's painted. As soon as you come in, you got this big desk in the front, and you got these security guards sitting there, or you might have a couple of the staff ladies sitting there, or whatever. And instantly, like the commonality, the common respect is not given you because they look at you as a criminal. So they're not talking to you humanly, really. You know, it ain't like, how you doing today, sir? How you feeling today, sir? How's your day, sir? No, who you here to see? What you need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
instantly, I'm back. I was instantly security guards, y'all COs, the staff, the women in the front, y'all counselors and other staff members that don't care about the betterment of me at all anyway. Don't care nothing about.
You on tip already.
So
Yeah,
I get in there to sit down with the therapist. We get to talking. I get to opening up. I do, because she was nice. She had her way. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't overbearing. She just sat back, really listened, asked the right questions. So we kind of got there to open it up. But that's what they do. I hear over the loudspeaker, child, 5 minutes. I was back on the yard. So while she was talking, I stopped her. I say, man, there got to be a better way to announce that. Like, is they in prison? Is this prison? She like, no. I said, well, y'all training them for it, though. I said, got to be a better way to announce that. I said, because just that right there just put me back on the yard. Just that right there, because I heard that for 13 years. Child lines running, child. You know what I mean? So automatically it put me back there. And I'm like, man, somebody could have went around the building, knocked on some doors, anything, man. Y'all should have did that way. Y'all should be doing that way different. Grab my stuff. I say, I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm hyperventilating at this point. Get to my car, sit in my car in the parking lot about 5-10 minutes. Got to control, get my breathing back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that the first time I was out. That was one thing I didn't have was the moments where my anxiety really kicked in. I didn't have that. Like I got that now, and it's crazy. I pray about it, but I deal with that now at times. But I ain't had that coming out the first time. But that's when I knew, like, okay, I really need to talk to somebody. So I couldn't really deal with the therapist and stuff there. And so I made it my job, you know what I'm saying? My wife and my mother made it their business, like, listen, open up, trust us. So yeah, you go so long without giving people that, you don't know how to give people that no more. You know what I'm saying? I went so long without giving people them feelings, I didn't even know they was really there. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to address them, how to bring them out, how to talk about it. So finally, you know what I'm saying? I decided to, okay, I'm gonna open that door and see where it go. You know what I mean? And this where a lot of people, even for those who've been out there that done opened up to people, but they done opened up to the wrong people. That's a detriment too. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
Because then you start sharing some of your real feelings with them. And people don't know how to deal with it. They gossip. They go back behind your back talking about your business. And if they get back to you, then it's all again. You feel like you're on the yard with somebody that's trying to plot against you and looking for a way in on you so they can get down. So it was just, doing that, and the assurance that I didn't, that my mother and my wife will always have the right, will have my back, will always be there for me, and will do it right. That was everything.
Is it all right if I address some of these comments and questions real quick?
Yeah, we gotta address.
So Bada said that she wanted me to be her talk therapist. I could be your talk therapist. That's so funny that you said that. Some people have actually talked to me about that. I think I'm in the wrong profession. I probably should go to school and be a therapist. So I get that all the time.
Open up more than all the therapists I was supposed to. Yeah.
But that's the honest to God truth. I get that all the time.
Yeah,
so at work, sometimes they pull me to the side and like, can I talk to you? And I take them in a room and we be in there for an hour to talk. So yeah, Bada, anytime, let me know. I got you. So I actually been thinking about doing that though, just so y'all know. I actually been thinking about going back to school to do that. Secondly, the other thing I wanted to address was Bada as well said, asked where is a good place to get therapy. So in my own, because I've seen a therapist for quite a while now. And so my own thing is, I don't know if there's an actual good place to go get therapy. I think what you have is trial and error, right? And it's just you get a feel for it. So when you go, just like you, Darius, you go to somebody and it's a multitude of things, right? It's the atmosphere, It's the
Yeah,
vibe that the person gives off to you, and it's just how how receptive they are to you. Because a lot of times you can go in there, and again, they want to medicate you, or they want to talk, or they want to tell you how you feel. But nobody can tell you how you feel, and nobody can argue with you about how you feel because they're your feelings, right? Because at the end of the day, all it is they need to just help you process them or help you bring them to the surface because you hold them so much and they just don't come out, right? So I don't know if there's actually a good place to go get therapy, but if your insurance allows, and or even your pocketbook, if you're paying out of pocket for, allows for you to do a little research, and little pregame research, and then go and get a feel for it. And then if that's not the right person, then you move on to the next person. Because just because you think a woman might be the one for you, it's not. It could be a gentleman, or it could be somebody older, it could be somebody younger, or even if you have like a anxiety about men because you've been handled in a way with men and you can't see them or whatever, you just got to do your research. I believe that is the key to it. Personally, for me, I had actually went through probably like 7 or 8 therapists before I finally found the right fit. She's a white lady. She is probably about my age, but she fits and she works for me. She works for me because of how I look at things and how I do things. We sit in there. I like to light candles. I sit on the floor Indian style, right? Because that's my comfort. I'm sitting in this chair Indian style. I sit like that all the time. Kick my shoes off. You know what I'm saying? And I just get comfortable. I sit on the floor Indian style. She's sitting in her chair. I might get up and walk around, look at the windows because I'm a doodler, or I sit and I doodle just anything that I feel comfortable enough to do that. And so if you're able to be in your comfort zone with somebody, no matter if they bright blue with pink polka dots, I say that's the one for you. So I think it's just a feeling how you do it. But the important part is to just do it. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to highlight. Can you bring up that Becky Brown had a point too?
Tell mom the last time I'm in bed on my side.
Can we bring?
Therapy with the right therapy right in our mother's room.
Hey, I definitely want to highlight. I want to highlight what Becky Brown said as well. She said, just imagine if we start therapy with the right therapist while in our mother's womb, how much better we will be developed into our organic self. So I think that's very deep right there when you talk about having spaces to have the conversations, to be able to talk like that. Sometimes with men, we don't have spaces to have conversations. And they're like, to be honest, a lot of our homeboys and, friends and families be like our therapists. And we be having these conversations, just talking about different stuff and just getting stuff off the chest. I guess we feel comfortable enough to be able to do that. And I think that's more or less, be our problem. Because we deal with a lot. Man, women, just people that deal with a lot of stuff. And you don't know how to, I guess, necessarily, convey how you feel sometimes. And then you get into all these different habits. And sometimes you don't need the habits, or you don't need to engage into some behavior that might just, set you back. But like really just coming to somebody that you trust and you can confide in, and then, at least you can believe that they'll hold that, and you can kind of get some insight from it. And that's what it is. We don't all got the answers. I don't think nobody just be thinking like, I can go through life by myself. It's always the same when, there's the lone wolf needs a pack, right? You know what I'm saying? And when you kind of equate that to just being able to have, I guess, groups of people, or just a team of folks, or even therapy, or a therapist that you can sit down and dwell in with, that kind of takes the burden off, and the stress off your shoulders. Because I tried therapy like the first time, probably like 2 years ago. Actually, Mr. Ennis from Ennis Children, he's a really good brother. He actually downtown. But he just somebody, this was our first time meeting, but we was able to kind of build a understanding with each other first before we was able to kind of have a conversation. And I know the first couple of times I probably was just looking and, just probably holding back, But and he was doing more than talking to anything, the first couple of times. But then when I was able to kind of, I guess, we was able to relate to each other. Then I think I kind of seen myself like really kind of drop the guard down and kind of go in. And whether it was talking about, he got me to talk about the children, to get me to open up, talk about my way of, I guess, my upbringing up in life and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I guess, sometimes there'll be some gateways and they do a really good job with kind of fishing it out of you. But you got to be open enough to be able to come to the table and have those conversations, even talk about it. You know,
But
so
but
I really do just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Even the opportunity to be able to do that. But then, like, even just
yeah,
for us, just man, I do want to always make sure we plug this. Um, you know, we are opening a space for brothers to have conversations, and you don't gotta be scared to to be able to be scared to be about what you bring to the table, because trust me, somebody might be dealing with it too.
yeah.
But we want to be able to make sure that folks have that opportunity, have that space, and it's not no judgment. We can help each other. Whatever the problem, we can help each other through. But you know what I'm saying? We want to be able to make sure that folks know that, not more than just advocacy, more than just, out here doing business, more than just, continue to, do for the community. It's always checking on ourselves and doing self checks and self
Yeah,
love. So on
you can't
Wednesdays,
really.
we want to make
Go
sure that on Wednesday, on Wednesdays, we want to make sure that we do have, the space open here at 6 o'clock. We want to make sure that folks is coming up here. If you got a conversation you want to have, you want to meet with somebody, you got some stuff you want to get off your chest, you're dealing with a few things, you got some trials and tribulations, no matter what it is, come and you coming as you
ahead.
are, because that's how we expect you to be. We want you to come as you are. We want you to have conversations. We want to break bread with you. We want to help you through. And sometimes you might help somebody else. We making that space available here down at the Oak Business Center, 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. We really want to make sure we get face to face. We can do the Zoom stuff, which is cool. I think if we can get into space with everybody, kind of face to face and build with each other. We can, talk to each other. And ain't gotta have no cameras on. We ain't gotta do none of that type of
Right,
stuff. But we can just be like, saying like real brothers, like a core supposed to be. We want to invite you down every Wednesday, 6 o'clock at the Old Business Center. It's just a man's meeting, all
right.
men, right? If you got a situation with your children's brother, if you got a situation with your child, right? You just coming home and you can't get no breaks. You got mental illness running rapid through the family, or you just want to just get a break out the house because kids running you crazy. I think this is the space though, right? I'm just for real. It be like that too. This is the space, right, for you to come out, have a few pointers. Like we have some food, we can chop it up game. Y'all want to get some dominoes and some chess going. I think what I'm saying. We can do those type of things. So we invite everybody to come out. We got all our men on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock to come out.
That was a comment I wanted to address.
Bada said the women need the same services. We could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you ain't
yeah.
lying.
It's not to take away from the women at all. That's not it at all. I just think that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Do that for the
times,
women. We could definitely do
sometimes,
that.
yeah, we can definitely do that. It's just sometimes I know that the man just really don't have nowhere to go, and that's kind of how this whole thing got started. We just
But
having
because it's time,
conversations with each other and just
you know what?
building, and just want to continue those efforts. But you know what I'm saying? We definitely can do something for the ladies too, and for the women. Is we can have women's meet, featuring Satar and the ladies and Bada and Becky Brown. And, you know what I'm saying? I think that'd be something dope.
You know, it'd be you know what it is. For the longest, it was kind of looked down upon for a dude, for a male to even speak on his feelings. You know what I'm saying? That's looked down, frowned
You
upon.
right?
Imagine, imagine having the avenues to be able to talk to somebody when you young. You know what I mean? When you young, you think about all the young brothers
Right,
like me and you, Dewan Fincher. You growing up without a father. You got a
right.
mother trying to raise all these boys. Like my mother raised, trying to raise 5 boys. And you
hmm
got a mother trying to raise these boys, trying to bring them
It
into
was four of
manhood.
us.
You see what I'm saying? You trying to
Yeah,
bring them into manhood. You know, my mom, when my mom lies to be, she always tells you, she's like, you tough, you can deal with it. But and I didn't blame
yeah.
her for that. She just didn't. That was what she thought for men. You know what I mean? We thought for her, it's a young man, so that's how he got to be. You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
But
You're right.
imagine being able to have that as when you young to kind of keep you from making those mistakes. Because a lot of the mistakes we make is because we just don't know how to really decipher through our feelings, how we feel about a situation. We don't know how to talk to ourselves through it. We don't know how to walk ourselves down through a situation. So what we do, we just go off that first fear, that bit of anger. That's what we go off of. Boom, I'm going right into
You
it.
know what, Darius? Really appreciate you doing this, and I think the perspective that I think you bring to it is that now that you have gone through it, and now that you are married, you can give that perspective to these men on how to open up to their girlfriends or their
Oh
wives
yeah,
or their significant others, because that's a thing, right? Because
yeah, yeah,
we that's it's a gap, right? And so
yeah.
we don't get that communication that we need to be able to help you, because here's the thing, even for me, I love y'all. I love you black men so hard. And I know that the world is on your shoulders, just like it is on ours as well. But
Mm-hmm.
to have you to be able to come home and to be able to, like I said, lay your head in our lap and for us to relate and you to get that off, and we can understand it. But you have to be able to give it to us, right? Because we are ready to stroke your head and understand you and say, hey, you ain't gotta worry about all of that, but just get it out, right? But you got to get to the point to where you can get it out. So what I appreciate in that is that now you are in that space to be able to help them and say, listen, it's all right to express this to your lady, right?
Right,
Because that's what she there for you, right? And
right.
so I think that's a beautiful thing. And I really
You want to bring it up,
hope
bring that
that
question
this
on the screen?
whole thing, you know, goes huge, and so that can help, because that's some of the things that we
You
need to
got me
be
on mute.
doing. So I really hope that happens, and I really applaud you for doing that. So thank you.
Oh yeah, it's for what I think stand in the way of a lot of men from being able to open up. What stood in the way for me is one, to be honest, is pride and ego. Pride and ego. You don't want to look weak because you feel you've been taught for so long that it's weak. You get taught for so long that it's weak. And then if you go in the yard, you really getting taught that it's weak. You don't show no emotion. You don't have no feelings. Ain't nobody supposed to see you cry. A lot of guys inside shed tears, but don't nobody know about it. You know what I'm saying? I tell people that, like, yeah, a lot of brothers out in there shed tears, but you ain't gonna know about it. Like, I done had my nights where I cry, but ain't nobody gonna know about it. It's quiet in the corner at the in the dark of night. You know what I'm saying? And you try, and when it can come out, but you don't want nobody to know about it because it get used against you. So you have that pride and that ego because you've been told for so long and make you weak. You weak, or you soft, or anything like that. Like a man that show that those emotions, those feelings is soft. So you get that pride, that ego, and that callousness, it become a wall, and it be a hindrance. It be a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got beyond that part where, and it took a lot of breakdown. Just being real, it took a lot of a breakdown. It took a lot of erasing a lot of the old morals that I used and held so high. A lot of the old principles that I used and held up so high on what I thought a man was, because a lot of us, and Duane, you can attest to that. A lot of us learned our idea of a man by our homeboys and niggas just in the hood, and so you think like, yep, that's what a man is. So I had to erase a lot of those things. I had to erase and cut off a lot of those things, and really
Yeah.
listen to those that wanted to listen, that wanted to hear from me.
But why
Hear
why
them
we had to
crying
be so
out.
hard growing up though, bro?
We didn't know no,
Why it had to
because
be
we
so hard growing up, and you know what I'm
we didn't
saying?
know no other. Nobody told us anything. Nobody was around to tell us anything different. Nobody was around to tell us anything different. If ain't nobody that telling you differently, like, listen, man, nah. You ain't got to be so tough all the time. It's okay to
Yeah. Yeah.
break down and have these tears. It's okay to build with this person or talk to this person. It's all right. Everybody that asks you how
Mm-hmm.
you doing today, or what's going on with you or what's hurting you ain't got no motive. Everybody don't have a motive. Some people really just care about how you feeling and what's going on. You know what I mean? So you don't have that. A lot of us think we have that. A lot of us we didn't have that.
I think that's a message to our young boys of the day, man,
Man,
because they growing up the same way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
it's
funny
tough.
when I be watching them out there doing the same stuff. I'm like, man, they look that just like a rerun. And there be about
Mhm.
40 of them in our little neighborhood, and they just be out there moving, and I see them growing up. They used to be doing little boy stuff. Now they doing little boy stuff. Now you got to keep an eye on them, man. And I be trying to tell them that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got to be moving like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all got to be ragging, and y'all, everybody got to be strong. Yeah, of course we strong. Like don't get that twisted. I think we just naturally strong. That's just how that go. But then at the same time, it's like you ain't gotta show love, to your brother, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody's showing love, you calling them weak. Like that's crazy. That's what I said, man. Listen, we got it all twisted. We grew up like this. And I know I remember my uncles used to, anybody was crying around, everybody was getting it. And I think, you know what I'm saying, that kind of
My older
was
brother was
instilled
like,
early in
that's
the
how my older
game.
brother was.
Don't play around with that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't be like that. But I think it's more like now we should be able to, I want my son to express how he feel. And I feel like he got to just be holding all that stuff in. Because he be doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you don't know what they be feeling like. They be ready to go off or blow up. And you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to say nothing to you. They walk right past you and go right out the door. And next thing you know, there's some stuff taking place. So man, I think when we see brothers, when we see man, like man, it's all good. Like even the homies, like even our homeboys, Pat coming up now. You know what I'm saying? We able to express that type of love to each other now. Back in the day, we didn't. But now we can be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love you, bro. I love you too, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It was
saying?
good
And it
time.
ain't
You go back
no
to a
sister,
day we couldn't
no
even
gay
say
stuff,
it.
nothing like that. It ain't. I mean, not saying that type of stuff, but
Couldn't say
it ain't nothing like that. But it's more like genuine love that you got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we solid in it. You know what I'm saying? Like we can say that with each other and be comfortable in our skin. That's power.
I feel like this generation needs that mental health and that help with the mental health more than anything, more than any generation, because of the design poisoning that been put out on our children, and that already put them in a they already put them in a bad predicament. You know what I'm saying? Already when it comes to the way they filter through their feelings and their thoughts process and all that. And that's going for men and women because of my daughters. I go for the young men and the young women because I got daughters and I notice like a lot of them, young women nowadays do hold a lot of stuff in just like the dudes how we did back in the 80s and 90s. They getting as callous.
But we
as
did
we
that
were.
back in the 80s and 90s too. We didn't say nothing. It took me a long time to get to the point to where I can do that. And you know what? And it does. It just makes you angry, and then you hold it in, and then that one moment, and boom, and you snap, and it's just like a wet rubber band, and you just tearing everything up. You know what I'm saying? Like people's feelings, the house, or whatever, because you done snap. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. We all need. I think we as Black people, period. Black people, just all Black people need therapy.
Yeah,
We all need
got
therapy. We was born with PTSD.
man.
We all need therapy.
You hear me? Because we got a
Yeah,
history. You go down.
absolutely.
We got a whole history of tragedy that has happened to us. A whole history of tragedy. And I tell people like even I often tell people I say okay, you don't have to be on been on the yard. You don't have to been in the war to have issues if you Black. All you have to do is start learning your history. That's it. That enough.
Be Black. You
Man,
just gotta
you
be
hear me?
Black.
That enough. That's enough to start messing with your head just right there. You start seeing how just because of your color, just because of what color you is, that you already ostracized, already finna be treated differently than anybody else walking this planet. So that alone is mentally frustrating, man. Just that alone in itself. And that's crazy. That's
I
crazy.
definitely I think this was much needed. This was a well needed discussion centered around multiple topics, right? One thing for sure, man, we got to have structures in place, wraparound service for all our brothers and returning citizens come back home to society. Let's make sure that we make that ease. Let's go ahead and give them opportunity, job, help them set up a business. All those type of intangibles, man, so you can live a higher quality of life. That's for sure. That's one thing. We got to be on that. I always got to have empathy for people that make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody, some people get caught, some people don't. Let's be honest.
That's all it is.
And then to know it, if you do, hope you learn something, and then you're ready to come back and do something greater. Then two, man, we definitely got a real thing with mental illness, real situations folks are dealing with in the family. I know some of my cousins I was growing up with, I thought they were just talking crazy. I thought they was playing like they was crazy. And them they really crazy. And I think it's not to be taken lightly. It's not a joke or nothing. But what we got to do is really start, kind of making those spaces available, seeing some therapists. Let's get some black therapists. We need some more mentors, folks, black psychologists, just folks that can really kind of help with the mental. The mind is a powerful thing, right? So we always got to, make sure we put some effort into exercising that. We're gonna go ahead and tune out because we got an onboard tonight. See folks shuffling and getting things moving around up in here. But I definitely appreciate everybody. We'll be back here next Wednesday, next Thursday, 6:00. And we got any announcements, anything coming up this week?
This week or this
Community
week coming,
conversation?
y'all got community conversations, and then you got Wednesday, your men's meeting.
Wednesday man's meet, man. As the one was stating earlier, the man's meet, yes, folks, we trying to formulate a group of men to go out through the city, but it ain't all just about that either. It's about really dealing and building with the men in here in Flint. So even if you ain't ready to be out in the streets and been an activist or none of that, if you just need to talk to somebody, you just need to build with us. You got stuff on your mind, you having a hard time. You could come down, you could tap in, whatever. You want it, you need it, and we want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Build with you and let you know we love you, we need you. The community needs you. Your family needs you. You are very important and valuable. Regardless of how you feel or anybody else tell you, valuable. So we just want to ensure that in all of you. So if anything you got going on, man, just come down, man. However we can help, we gonna help. That way we can find a way to help. We gonna help you, man. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We go wrap it up. All right. We got the community conversation this Saturday. That's at 10 o'clock. That's at 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock. So we got community conversation at 9 a.m. Right? There's community dialogue. We got updates. Brother Roberts will be facilitating the conversation, giving you any type of insight. Tune in to him and be on the StreamYard, be on the Fli-City Blackout, 9 a.m. this Saturday. And then, of course, next week we want to go ahead and tap back in on the 9th, Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Make sure you be for the man's meeting. You heard the content tonight. You heard what we talk about, what we discuss. It's safe, it's protected, it's private. Just make sure you show up. You might not got to say nothing the first time. You might just want to see and catch the vibe of the room, and that's cool too. But we definitely just want to encourage, man, brothers to come down. For our sisters, we'll be looking at what we can do to establish some women night. Maybe we can kind of get y'all pampered up, do some nice stuff for y'all, have something laid out, rolled out, some nice meals we can serve y'all, whatever the case may be. If that's the case. So we'll be talking about that, and here in the coming up. We do have some activity coming up at the end of this month. I want to say the 24th, we are doing Black History program. This is Black History Month.
Unity Church.
Black History. We had the whole thing laid out today. But it is Black History Month, right? So we got to really, Black History is not just this month, right? This is Black History 365.
Shortest month.
Please let's stop even having to just cram all this just in February. Like, we got to be out here every day, 365. We celebrate our ancestors, Black history. Black history is world history. So when you talk about history in general, you can't talk about history without talking about Black people. So we're gonna be having different activities. We got some programs later on this month, and also as well, we'll be continuing doing some Kwanzaa principles throughout the year. We got some things we want to implement. So we got a lot of stuff that we'll be doing. We'll be sending this information out and keeping everybody abreast. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Blackout.
Blackout.